Hey everybody, welcome to Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. In today's video, we're discussing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the total crypto market cap on a technical basis. So let's dive right into the BTC USDT chart. Bitcoin making a stellar reversal today off of support, holding this longer term parallel channel that we have been watching now in our videos. So if I just blow this chart out a little bit, you can see that BTC was really just chopping inside of this range for quite a long time until it broke out of the range. Now it's trying to establish a new consolidation range, and it seems to be that the range it's trying to establish is now in between this high upsloping trend line and this lower boundary parallel trend channel. So right now it's looking actually constructive and positive. This upper boundary trend line represents the trend line going all the way back to COVID lows, so March of 2020. So big technical level. You can see it slices through those pivots. This is your massive FTX Sam Bankman-Friedman collapse that caused Bitcoin and the massive hysteria and absolutely treacherous price action. But nevertheless, Bitcoin has now retraced and established itself above the 42,000 level yet again today. It was looking pretty bleak in the overnight futures last night, I must say. The way Bitcoin opened was certainly not positive, but now it is shaping up and trying to hold support and firm up. The big question is, can it get outside of this wide range red bar? This is still technically all bearish price action inside of this bearish bar. Okay, so this is could be forming a bear flag. Notice how this key pivot zone has been rejection here once, twice, three times, and potentially a fourth time. We have to wait and see. The candle just started. There's another 23 hours left in this daily session. Let's dive into a smaller time frame, the 4-hour chart, shall we? So the 4-hour chart actually triggered what looks to be a potential head and shoulders. You can even lower the time frame down, say, to the 2-hour chart, so you can see more of the actual pattern itself. But potentially there's a head and shoulders that has triggered. Actually, not potentially, it has triggered, basically over here. Okay, and now you're actually retracing perfectly, I mean perfectly, to the original neckline. So notice how this pivot zone here and this pivot zone, those are your neckline. You rejected here on that initial push up, and you're actually trying to pierce it on this candle and get above it, but you have not closed above it and confirmed this wick here. So right now this head and shoulders is still intact. If you get a 2-hour close above this wick, the pattern, and closing above this neckline, the pattern likely will be meaning to fail, which means that this could actually retest the previous highs in the crypto market. So it's a very interesting point that we're at here in the crypto market. Let's just dive on in to the 20 minutes and 30 minutes. You can see there's some definite distribution candles, some heavy picture perfect reversal candles. Let's see if they have the volume behind them. Let's turn on BTC volume. You know, some decent volume on some of these reversal candles. So definitely you have to pay attention to what is going on in trade. Even that 20-minute topping tail looks pretty nasty in my opinion. But nevertheless, crypto has had a big reversal off of the lows and turned positive. So Bitcoin's certainly looking a little bit more positive. Let's look at the Ethereum chart. ETH USDT. So Ethereum is now trading at 2214. Notice on the daily chart the relative weakness. So here you have BitcoinDominance showing some good strength. If you were to compare Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, Bitcoin's really trading at the high range of the wide range red bar, and Ethereum's at the low end of the range. So notice the difference. The wide range sell-off bar, Ethereum is trading at the low range. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. BTC USDT is the ticker. Whoops. Can't seem to type tonight. But if we pull at that, notice how Bitcoin is trading more so at the higher end, the midpoint. So again, Ethereum's trading at the low end, Bitcoin's trading at the higher end. That's showing that there's some relative strength and dominance in the actual Bitcoin price, which you have to observe. But let's flip back to the Ethereum chart just so we can do some analysis on what's happening and unfolding here. So what's interesting about Ethereum here is this was your impulse candle breakout that sent you to a little bit of a new 52-week high in the crypto space, Ethereum specifically, and you weren't able to get above that on a closing daily basis for 1, 2, 3, and then you had your big red bar down. What I'm not liking about this price action is you actually did get a a close on this daily candle below this body of the candle. So that's a little bit of a negative. You also got some follow through the very next day, a little bit of a bounce, potentially a lower high. So that is the first little negative in the Ethereum market, which is why I think we're likely going to see some profit taking. But more so if we look on the weekly chart now, if we flip to a little bit of a larger term time frame, we can actually see what we're trading into on Ethereum. You have these pivot where Ethereum bounced, held support before you had your epic bull market run. And then you had it over here, your big breakdown point where you actually triggered and bounced off of the lows, formed a little bit of a range, bounced to the higher end of the range, got rejected, bounced to the low end, high end, kind of the center point, and now we're trying to break out of the high end of this range. So it's a big, big level for Ethereum right now. The one thing that I'm not liking is the fact that you got above this key trend line, massive pivot low to your pivot low to your pivot low, big bounce, big breakdown, retest consolidation, break out above it. So you've broken out above this key upsloping trend line, but then you had a last week sell-off that put you back below the trend line. And this week, you're actually trying to fight that resistance point as we speak. So Ethereum is certainly at a big inflection point here. It needs to get established itself back above this 2232 area and above this trend line for the bull market to be intact. If it doesn't, there opens the vulnerabilities of having ETH basically retesting the previous breakout zone, which would be somewhere around this trend line. That's kind of where I'm looking for Ethereum to maybe retest, is right in this area over here. Okay, so I think we could definitely see that probably in the next, say, 2 to 6 weeks, sometime in that time frame. Now, if we were to break up and push higher and make new highs, the next resistance point we have obviously is kind of this double top at the highs here. But really, if you cleared this level, you have a big 382 fib level here, sitting at around 2418. So that's or 2411. So it's a massive level. But really, if you break through that 2411, then you have some potential move all the way up to the 50% retrace, which puts you at around 2880. So definitely a pretty interesting price action level that we're unfolding here in the crypto market. Let's look at the total crypto market cap just so we can see what we're trading at here. We'll look at the weekly chart first. The weekly chart is saying that the crypto market is 1.56 trillion deep. Very, very impressive, so to speak. If you think about some of the largest companies, Apple's hit 3 trillion this year. Microsoft's just shy of 3 trillion. Nvidia's been up to 1.3, 1.2 trillion, somewhere around there. Tesla's under a trillion now, again, after having a pretty big fall from its grace. Amazon's above, 1.5 trillion, or just under 1.5 trillion. But Bitcoin, total crypto market cap, 1.56 trillion. So it's basically another potentially mega cap company. If you think about the crypto market cap, it could be representing almost like another major QQQ NASDAQ company. So it's certainly seeing an influx of liquidity, which as it gets bigger, it should make the asset class a little bit more stable to invest in. But right now, technically speaking, another potential consolidation range. You had your lower boundary channel, which you broke out above on a weekly basis. You haven't confirmed, but you're putting in. This is right now is it's a little bit premature. You need more time, but this is looking to be a healthy, bullish weekly consolidation. You're inside of this impulse green candle breakout, and you're just doing sideways consolidation pullback. So it is actually looking a little more poised on the weekly to actually continue higher, but the daily still has this inside bar bearish price action that could be unfolding and at least see lower. I would love to see if we retest this previous consolidation range to see if those sellers really get shaken out or not. Or if we do a quick hard bounce here, what I could be actually seeing in the charts here, we could be forming. I would not be shocked if we actually came down, boom, and then we would reach an inflection point where we likely bounce. And then the question is, do we put in sort of a right shoulder formation where you have this shoulder ahead? And then the big thing about these formations is a lot of people try to front run them so the market makers can suck them in on the short side. But if it does play out, you have a pretty big fall on the long side. So a couple interesting things that we're going to watch for to see if crypto catches and continuation bid to the upside. It's still overbought. You still have yields hitting support. You still have the dollar hitting support. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if it can actually move higher over the coming weeks as we head into the new year. So it's had a stellar 2023. So is the stock market, almost making new all-time highs. So you have to certainly respect that. But we'll see if it can carry it into 2024 or if a lot of the forward gains have been priced into this year. On that note, I'm going to end this crypto video here. It's a little bit lengthy, but I appreciate you all tuning in. Definitely check out my tradingcapital.ca Discord, where I run a swing trading and day trading service, and I'll be happy to give you my insights further into the market. I just try to provide a little bit of free content to help educate and give people a different side and different perspective. Whether you agree or disagree, that's totally up to you, and I respect everyone's opinion if they back it up with some sort of fundamental technical research. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the charts later.